One of the things that's hard not to notice about the guys and girls stuck in the forever alone situation is that a lot come from dysfunctional or abusive families. And there was recently a discussion on my Discord server among some members that I believe shed some light on it that I want to share with everyone. That it might not just be a dysfunctional or abusive family in general, but a specific type of dysfunction. I'd name the people who were involved in this discussion, but I've gotten in trouble for that before, so thank you everyone on my Discord server for this enlightening chat. From Anon. The future paints the present on the backdrop of the past. No future, no emotions, no movement. Or no future leads to no emotions, which leads to no movement. Emotions are a guidance system. They tell you how your life is moving towards the future of your desire. When you are feeling bad, you are not moving towards the future you desire. A lot of FAs come from a home where one of the parents was a narcissist or other trauma-inducing home life. One of the primary characteristics of being raised by a narcissist is that you are not living for yourself. You are living for that parent. Your emotions are ignored, and their emotions are all important. I wonder how many people stuck with the FA thing heard phrases like, "You don't have anything to complain about." To fail at your role of providing narcissistic supply is to risk having your soul torn apart by your parent. Narcissistic supply is kind of like the negative dark energy that narcissists feed off of for themselves. Then they feed that up from other people. Kind of like a psychic vampire. So you were never allowed to have your emotions. You were never allowed to have your own future. It is literally too dangerous to plan for an actual future. It is verboten to think of a happy future. Of course you can dream, escapism is allowed, but those types of dreams are not about a real future. In the end, if you ever escape from the family, you have no ability to feel. If you ever escape from the family, you have no ability to feel your emotions, and you have no ideas about what you would like in your future. What you should have been doing for the first 18 years of your life, you haven't even begun the first step. The years of growing up were for you to think of a future and try to create it. And you thought people not learning to read in school was bad. Another way to put it is, you were never allowed to be a person. The children of narcissists are either narcissists themselves or very naive when it comes to others abusing them. Yeah, that's something I've noticed about people who come from dysfunctional families. Often recreate that dysfunction later, and I think in part, if you read back to listen to an older video of mine called The Fog of Dysfunction, how coming from dysfunctional families seems to cloud your judgment about people. That's probably what this is. As far as the mental processes for your emotions, Anon says, the mental process is backwards from what most people think. The future where you're trying to go is what creates the emotions. So one who has never been allowed to desire a future also has no emotions in that regard. The emotions are a feedback loop. This can also be discussed in terms of wanting to rescue the princess and live happily ever after. You know the Disney story? And when we grow up in this time of feminism and man-hating, we find that there is no happily ever after. There is no path to the future. So with the number one drive of men being nullified, what futures are there? No future, no emotion. So I asked Anon, so the vision of the future is what creates the emotional motivation, is that correct? So you'd have to be able to see the future you think you can reach first, but you can't envision a future because you can't imagine getting anything, and you can't imagine getting anything because you've never been a person. Does that seem about right? And Anon says, yes, that's basically it. So it'd have to be a future you think you can have, but you can't envision that future because you can't imagine getting anything, and you can't imagine getting anything because you've never been a person, and a person by yourself. You've always existed for that. You've only existed for the narcissistic supply of the narcissistic parent, if you've come from that kind of dysfunctional home. One of the members on my Discord server put it pretty well. They said to Anon, you said what I think when people ask about myself, or when people ask what I want in life. I draw blanks because I'm only an extension of my parents' ego. That's my only purpose. I provide narcissistic supply. I have both codependent and narcissistic tendencies. I'm going to put a link in the description box below to some relevant videos about this from Spartan Life Coach. Another question was asked of Anon. If you have a narcissistic parent and one of the things they do is hit you and eventually you finally hit back, does that mean you're finally fighting for your own life, or does that mean you've compromised yourself and they've finally really gotten to you? Does it make you as bad as them? Anand says, actually neither. When you hit back, you are playing their game. When you allow them to keep hitting you, you are playing their game. The problem is there isn't a proper thing to do. That's why getting out of the relationship is so hard. You're fighting with a tar pit creature. The more you fight, the more stuck in tar you get. No matter if you defend yourself or attack, getting away is the only thing you can do. If they are truly narcissists, there's nothing you can do. We do not have the technology yet to heal them. They cannot be redeemed. You cannot work out anything with them. Yeah, I've read that too, that there's certain ones like this and sociopathy where there are no treatment methods for it right now. None at all. So thanks again to everyone on the Discord server for the good discussion. And what do you guys think? If you're FA and you've had this kind of problem, if you came from a dysfunctional or abusive home, does this seem to describe the home you came from? Let me know in the comment section below. If you like the work that I do on this channel, there are donation options in the description box below. So thank you for watching, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and share.